Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Read Aloud. Today is Wednesday, June 3rd, and we are going to jump right back into Cece Loves Science. Yesterday, we read the first half of the book, and today we're going to read the rest of the book. But before we do that, I just want to say that the distance learning folder and the link to the distance learning folder and the link to the folder that has all of the materials for today are going to be in the description underneath this video if you want to print them out, if you would like to look at the book while you are answering your exit ticket, all of that will be in that folder. All right, now we can get back into it. Now, the first question that I'm asking you today is what has happened so far? We're going to pick up in the middle of the story, so it's important that we know what happened at the beginning of the story. So I am going to do this, and then I'm going to move myself down here, and I'm going to go through the pages of the first half of the story and write down important things that you remember from the first half of the story. All right, go ahead. All right, so that was the first half of the story. That's all we read yesterday. So let's go back and go through the important details from yesterday's reading. So we know the title is Cece Loves Science. We know that the main character is Cece. We know that the setting is her neighborhood because it takes place at her house, outside in her tree house, and there are some pictures of her at school. So all of those are in or around Cece's house. So the setting is her neighborhood. Now, we also know that Cece loves to ask questions and she loves science. Those are both very important details, especially the one about science. And we know that because it's the title of the story. And it would not be the title of the story if it were not important, friends. So, Cece loves science. She loves to ask questions. Um, and they are about to do an experiment. They're coming up with a question that they want to investigate. So Cece and her friend Isaac are brainstorming all of these questions that they want to ask. Um, and Cece gets inspiration from her dog Einstein when Einstein jumps up onto the dinner table and eats all of the food off of Cece's plate except her broccoli. And so their big question that they want to investigate or do research on is if dogs eat vegetables. And they're going to do that with Einstein. So they get right to work, and their first step is to observe Einstein. Um, they gave him treats, they watched him eat, they watched Einstein drink, and they watched him sleep too. They had to be very patient before they could actually start with the experiment because the first step was an observation. And then, right where we left off, it was time to start the experiment. So, what has happened so far so that to make sure that we're not writing the whole story all over again. What has happened so far? There's a girl named Cece who loves to ask questions and she loves science. Her teacher gives her class an assignment, but they have to investigate a question. Cece and her friend Isaac decide to um, investigate whether dogs eat vegetables after Cece's dog Einstein jumped up on the table and ate all of Cece's food except for the vegetables. They observe, and now they're about to start the experiment. So let's see how that experiment goes. Oh, those are the questions from yesterday. And now here we go. I'm going to move my face out of the way. Here we go. All right. Cece and Isaac tried carrots, beans, and cucumbers. Einstein turned up his nose at each one. That means that he was not about to eat. What if we disguise the vegetables with bacon and ketchup? Isaac asked. This time, Einstein was interested. He ate the bacon and licked the ketchup off the vegetables. That means he likes bacon and ketchup, said Cece. What if we just mix up vegetables with his kibble? Asked Isaac. I bet he won't even know the difference, said Cece. Einstein ate all his kibble but left the vegetables in the bottom of his bowl. Einstein might not eat vegetables, but he sure is smart, said Cece. So they tried all of these things, but Einstein still isn't eating the vegetables. Um, Cece gave Einstein a treat and rubbed his ears. Good boy, she said. She looked at Isaac and shrugged. Now what? We're supposed to interpret our data, said Isaac. Einstein definitely loves to eat, said Cece. He sure doesn't like broccoli, said Isaac. He doesn't like any vegetables, added Cece. Not even if we cover them in bacon and ketchup, said Isaac. I guess Einstein is a picky eater, said Cece. So they're interpreting their data. So they're thinking about what they've just observed with their experiment. So they observed that Einstein eats bacon, ketchup, and kibble. He ignores the hidden vegetables, so he doesn't pay attention to the vegetables. He says, no, thank you. And Einstein is a picky eater. The result is that he doesn't like veggies, and the veggies that he does not like are carrots, beans, and cucumbers. That night at dinner, Cece was so disappointed she didn't even finish her dessert. Maybe I'm not a real scientist after all, she said. Our project was boring. I thought you asked a great question, her dad said. Einstein put his paws on the table and sniffed Cece's banana split. Einstein, Cece giggled. Naughty puppy. Her mother laughed and pulled Einstein away. He may not eat veggies, she said, but he sure likes bananas. That's when Cece remembered something Miss Curie always said. Scientists think outside the box. What if we create a secret recipe using bananas? She asked. Look, she's thinking about the bananas, the broccoli, and the carrots all going into this blender. Wonder what they're going to do. Cece and Isaac rushed home after school and mixed together carrots, beans, cucumbers, and bananas in a blender. Are those still veggies? Asked Isaac. Yup, said Cece. They're just in a different form. Gross, Isaac said, wrinkling his nose. So they went home from school and they are now creating a mixture that has bananas, carrots, beans, and cucumbers in it. So it's like a carrot, bean, cucumber, and banana smoothie. Ugh, I wouldn't drink that. All right, let's see. Cece poured the mixture into Einstein's bowl. How about a special smoothie? She said, patting his head. At first, Einstein looked confused. He circled the bowl. He sniffed the bowl. Then he got down on his belly and wagged his tail. And then he slurped down the entire thing. Look, he loves it, said Isaac. In science, not all results are totally predictable. Einstein does eat vegetables when we mix them with bananas, said Cece. And that's when Cece made the most extraordinary observation of all. Science isn't just about asking questions. Real scientists have fun finding answers too. So now they filled out their entire worksheet. They picked science, or they picked zoology, the study of animals. Their brainstorm ideas were: is a bear ticklish? Do pigs think they stink? Do fish sleep? What is your question? Do dogs eat vegetables? Your test subject: dogs, canis, related to the wolf, coyote. List some fun facts about your subject. Einstein, named after Albert Einstein. Weight, 40 pounds. Color, gray. Eyes, brown. What are your observations? He eats, drinks, and sleeps. He loves to eat his kibble. He doesn't like broccoli. He jumps on the table. Doggy treats guarantee 100% participation. Experiment. What variables are you testing? First experiment. Carrots, beans, cucumbers, bacon, and ketchup. Second experiment. Add bananas, mix with veggies to make a smoothie. Interpret your data. Eats bacon, ketchup, and kibble. Ignores hidden vegetables. Einstein is a picky eater. The result. They crossed out doesn't like veggies, carrots, beans, cucumbers. And they write instead, Einstein does eat vegetables when we mix them with bananas. So they did this whole science experiment and they figured out that Einstein will, in fact, eat his veggies if they are blended together with bananas. It's like a banana vegetable smoothie. All right, my friends, now we're going to answer the rest of the questions on that first sheet of paper. This question, oh my, face is always in the way. Let's go back over here. All right, put the following events in order. Cece and Isaac put ketchup and bacon on the vegetables. Cece and Isaac put out carrots, beans, and cucumbers in front of Einstein. Cece and Isaac mixed up the vegetables with Einstein's kibble. All right, so let's see here. We're gonna go back over here. All of these events happen on this page. So your job now is to find out what order all of these things happened in. So remember, we put a number 1 next to the first thing that happened, number 2 next to the second thing that happened, and number 3 next to the third thing that happened. These are all scrambled up, so they are not in the correct order. But let's first find the text evidence for this. Cece, let's make it bigger. Here we go. Up here, boom. All right. Cece and Isaac put ketchup and bacon on the vegetables. Cece and Isaac, ketchup and bacon on the vegetables. So that happens over here because we see the ketchup and there's bacon under there. And it says right here, what if we disguise the vegetables with bacon and ketchup? This is Isaac's suggestion. So here we go. We found that text evidence. Let's go back. Cece and Isaac put out carrots, beans, and cucumbers in front of Einstein. Let's see. All right, well, here we see the picture of the carrots, beans, and cucumbers. And then up here it says Cece and Isaac tried carrots, beans, and cucumbers. Well, that's that text evidence, so that goes over here. And then let's see, what's the last one? Cece and Isaac mixed up the vegetables with Einstein's kibble. All right, so they mix up the vegetables with Einstein's kibble. And we can see that happens over here. What if we just mix up vegetables with his kibble? Asked Isaac. I bet he won't know the difference, said Cece. But he did. He did know the difference. The smart dog. All right, so we found our text evidence for all three. Now, which one comes first? We got this one. Cece and Isaac tried carrots, beans, and cucumbers. All right, let's go back here. This sentence is about the ketchup and the bacon, and then this sentence is what we're looking for. Cece and Isaac put out carrots, beans, and cucumbers in front of Einstein. The number 1 goes here. All right, now let's see what happens second. What if we disguise the vegetables with bacon and ketchup? All right, now that bacon and ketchup sentence. Cece and Isaac put ketchup and bacon on the vegetables. Well, that happens second, so we'll put a 2 over here. And then just to double check to make sure that this one is number 3, it's going over here. What if we just mix up vegetables with his kibble? You're mixing up the vegetables with his kibble. Yep, number 3, or yep, number 3. Got number 3, Cece and Isaac mixed up the vegetables with Einstein's kibble. So the correct order is 2, 1, 3. because first they put out carrots, beans, and cucumbers. Then they try putting them out with ketchup and bacon on them, and then they try mixing the vegetables with Einstein. And none of them work. All right, let's go to the next question. How did Cece and Isaac get Einstein to eat the vegetables? All right, I think we all know the answer to this one, but don't forget we have to find our text evidence. So the options are Isaac threw the vegetables into Einstein's mouth. Then Cece blended the vegetables with bananas. And C, Cece and Isaac put ketchup and bacon on the vegetables. Now we know that letter C is not a correct answer because when we found the text evidence for the last question, um, we know that it said that he ate the bacon and licked the ketchup off the vegetables, but he did not eat the vegetables. So we know that this one can be crossed out. C is not the correct answer. All right, now let's see. Here we see them starting to mix the vegetables with the bananas. So let's read and see if we can find that text evidence. Cece and Isaac rushed home after school and mixed together carrots, beans, cucumbers, and bananas in a blender. Are those still veggies? Asked Isaac. Yep, said Cece. They're just in a different form. Gross, Isaac said, wrinkling his nose. All right, so that doesn't tell us anything yet. Let's see. Cece poured the mixture into Einstein's bowl. How about a special smoothie? She asked, patting his head. At first, Einstein looked confused. He circled the bowl. He sniffed the bowl. Then he got down on his belly and wagged his tail. And then he slurped down the entire thing. Look, he loves it, said Isaac. In science, not all results are totally predictable. Einstein does eat vegetables when we mix them with bananas. So that right there is our text evidence. Einstein does eat vegetables when we mix them with bananas. Nope, wrong question. So we know that B is a correct answer. Now, option A, Isaac threw the vegetables into Einstein's mouth. That did not happen when they blended the vegetables with bananas, and that was the only way that Cece and Isaac got Einstein to eat the vegetables. So we can cross this one out as well. So the only correct answer for this question is letter B. All right, now we get to move on to the exit ticket. Now, because we've read the entire story now, you are going to write or record a retell of Cece Loves Science. So remember, on Seesaw, you can record your voice, either reading what you wrote for your retell or just retelling the story of Cece Loves Science. So you're going to write or record a retell of Cece Loves Science. If you prefer to write it, you can also just take a picture of it and post it just like you do with your exit tickets usually. You need to be sure to include all of the story elements, characters, setting, problem, solution, lesson learned, and in the correct order. So you're not going to put the lesson learned at the beginning because that doesn't come until the end. And you're not going to put your characters at the end because then your retell wouldn't make any sense. You wouldn't know what your retell is about or who your retell is about. You also need to include key details from the story and make sure that you write at least 5 sentences. If you write less than 5 sentences, then your retell will not be complete. It won't include all of the story elements and key details that you need. So let's go over the story elements real quick before you go off and write your exit ticket. We know that the characters are Cece, Isaac, and Einstein. They're the ones. Well, Cece's the main character, right? And then Isaac is her friend, and Isaac's the friend, and Einstein is the dog that they do their experiment with. The setting, like we already said, is Cece's neighborhood. And the problem is, let's see, the problem, you see it right here. Cece says, Or no, that night at dinner, Cece was so disappointed she didn't even finish her dessert. Maybe I'm not a real scientist after all, she said. Our project was boring. So, because they couldn't figure out a way to get Einstein to eat vegetables, Cece doesn't think that she's a scientist anymore, a very good scientist anymore. So the problem is that they couldn't figure out how to get Einstein to eat the vegetables. Then the solution is that they blended the vegetables with bananas and Einstein ate it. I don't know why, because that doesn't sound very tasty, but he liked it. And then the lesson learned is on. Let me see. Here we go. This is the lesson learned. It's on this page right here. That's when Cece remembered something Miss Curie always said: scientists think outside the box. So the lesson learned is to always think outside the box. All right, my friends. Now, if you get confused about what those story elements are, you remember you can always rewind this video from when I first started explaining it, so you can include all of them in your retell. And remember to include your key details as well. All right, my friends. That is it for Read Aloud today. I will see you tomorrow with a new text. Bye, friends.